with movie magic. Here we go.
Busta Rhymes, 2000. We got the fire now. Come on. Hey, come on. Hey, rap the itch for more unless you best believe. Busta Rhymes more flavor than all the rest. Before the mess, hardcoreness before the stress. Got to get this flawless flow above my chest. Who's responsible for the impossible flow? Anything in the world that ain't toppable. So I make you anticipate great type shit. Real live niggas appreciate to the utmost. I pack toes, keep the jack close.
All right. People, welcome. This is Hot Take Wrestling Podcast. I am your boy, Old Man Logan. Let me see. There we go. Bow. That's KG. And we're going to do our best Sammy and KO show impression tonight. All right. So, excuse me. I have trail mix in my mouth. Pause. So if I sound a little muddled, that's why. But tonight's episode, we're going to do, as usual, our weekly recap. We are going to do our heated roundtable discussion, and we're going to round out this episode making our picks for this weekend's Elimination Chamber taking place in Chicago. WWE is back in the United Center, and they are in the United Center with style with the Elimination Chamber. So let's go ahead and get these intros out of the way. KG, hold on one second, my brother. I got you right here.
It's the ginger whiskey assassin, the other KG. Hashtag y'all gotta chill.
Floor is yours, KG.
I'm just glad Busta Rhymes is not came after our heads the way WWE came after Meek Mill with that cease and desist. So shout out to Busta.
Well,
You remember that time?
Busta has a
Yeah, because when he tried to sample the Undertaker.
yeah. Busta hasn't came in our heads, but we have gotten flagged a couple of different times with these recent episodes. I just like Fire. Fire is one of my favorite Busta Rhymes tracks, so I'm gonna probably have to do a redo our intro video with our original song that we had before that beat. So that'll probably be next episode. So it's probably the last time we heard Fire on here, but hey, y'all listen to it on y'all DSPs, okay?
No, just chop it and screw it like we from the South.
There you go. Hey, that might work. All right, let me get my intro out the way one time for the one time.
It's Big Oos, Old Man Logan, acknowledging.
All right, people. As always, thank y'all for tuning in to Hot Take Wrestling Podcast. We definitely appreciate it. We have gone through some roster changes. We've gone through intro changes. We've gone through music changes. but this still is the place to come and get your wrestling fix. I didn't even change the banner, man. I was so busy trying to get everything done the way it's supposed to. There we go. We the ones and not the twos. No hot sauce on the burrito. But this is what we're gonna do tonight, people. So I am right now putting the link into the conversation. If you all would like to come on tonight and tell us your Elimination Chamber picks for, it's Saturday, right, KG? Saturday.
Correct. Saturday 7 Eastern. What do you call it? 4 Pacific, 6 p.m. Central Time. And for the people that are under Rocky Mountain High, whether that be through marijuana or otherwise, 5 o'clock.
All right, there you go.
Mountain
So
time.
if you guys want to come on, tell us who you're picking for the men's Elimination Chamber match, and the women's Elimination Chamber match. You're more than welcome to do so. If you're not feeling froggy and don't want to come on and see your face on the screen, just put it in the comments. Hey, this is who I'm going for. I'll make sure I put that comment up on the screen, and we'll go from there. But as I told you guys last week, make sure you're respectful. Please be respectful. No disrespect will be tolerated. You will be blocked. Okay? So just a warning there. Just a warning. That being said, KG, you ready to go ahead and get started, brother?
Let's get it.
All righty, here we go.
And now, And now, your week in review.
So we didn't get a repeat of Telemundo. I'm a little bit disappointed because, like I said, that segment was hilarious last week. Dom having to translate everything. But that being said, as you said last week, you said you didn't really enjoy, the happy-go-lucky EO. I didn't enjoy the happy-go-lucky Swerve. David Beckham Swerve got a little too comfortable in AEW. Man. I needed that edge back last week after he defeated Omega. I saw he cut a promo tonight, so I didn't get a chance to look at it. So I always say my AEW viewing for sometime between Thursday or Saturday. Sometimes, I always hit that recording that DVR. So I'm a little bit behind, so I don't know what's going on tonight. I did hear something in the background with MJF trying to throw out his stipulations for Hangman Page and their match against Revolution. I think that's in 2 weeks from Sunday on the 15th. So looking forward to the culmination of that feud. I had misspoke so last week because actually that feud started last year. They matched up a couple times. Time just flew by, but I thought they had a good exchange last week, and Hangman basically said they both bleed AEW in a sense. So very fiery promo between the two of them. You know what? And I'm glad that MJF is so far hasn't gone with the low bridge. What do you call it? The lowest hanging fruit type thing. I mean, because that act was getting a little old for me. First, it was edgy, but then it's like sometimes he was taking shots at people. It was just like, bro, what are you even doing right now? But I thought they had a good promo where it's like both guys made their points across where to hype you up for that match. And as far as I said, Willow had a big week last week, retaining the TBS championship in that Fatal 4. That's worth watching. Big things happening pretty soon, probably for Jet, Kevin Knight. I thought him and Beast Mortos had a good match. You go have a chance to watch that. I know they got him as a trio champion right now with Hangman. That was probably spurred of the moment due to the fact the Powerhouse went over to WWE. Because I'm wondering how long they leave those 6 men on them. Because you have a bunch of stables you could have options with. Like I'd be shocked if the Don Callis family would, since they basically are NWO at this point. Almost half the roster belongs to Don Callis up here. So I'm guessing some combination of a trio of those guys are going to take those off of. I forgot what they're calling themselves. Jets beat Cowboys or something. I don't know. It was some weird name. But I did see that the Man was supposed to face them coming up soon. I don't know if they defended against them last week on Collision because I'm very bad with Collision. Collision basically, I could get back into it. Maybe I will. I was watching it for a little bit when they were doing the Continental Classic because you were just getting banger after banger in the names, when the words of Sheamus. But to go back, I got to go back and watch it the same way. I got to kind of get back into NXT. So SmackDown talking points, like I said, they look like they're about to push Tama Tonga. He keeps having those like Shinsuke's playing those bugs in his ear type thing, or when you gonna potentially stand on your own. I'm fine with MFTs to a degree because it gives them something to do. Because Solo, for me, my personal view, is one of the more underrated talkers on the mic. For sure. And everybody doesn't have to have 5-star classics and all that to be a good villain. And speaking of villains, though, I'm a little surprised the lack of heels in the chamber. Trick Willie's the only one, and he's getting some of the loudest pops of the night when he comes out. I just thought about it,
bro. Like that line I'm always talking about. Like,
yeah,
it's so blurred nowadays in wrestling where you don't have full blown just like heels anymore. Like, Ric Flair was a full blown heel.
And happy birthday to him.
Right, happy birthday to the legend. Triple H full blown heel at times.
Ted DiBiase
like,
and Roddy Piper.
You don't really have that in this era, or if you do, they just not really getting over, for lack of a better term. Like,
no, because it was a running joke all the time. We were laughing about Trick Willie. One of our old co-hosts was on 10 about that, man. But I'm becoming a fan of the dude, just his demeanor. The way he carries himself, the energy he brings into all of his segments and his promos. So I didn't catch a lot of his run in NXT. Like I said, that's around the time I stopped watching it. I am guilty of that. Like when Gargano and O'Reilly and all of them departed, I saw the writing on the wall to begin with. So I missed a lot of that era. I caught glimpses of Carmelo Hayes because I was still kind of in between when he was getting this push watching it. Now I was already familiar with Ilya Dragunov and his classics with Gunther. But yeah, I mean everybody else right now in that chamber match is a full-on babyface outside of Trick. I just thought about that. So we'll get into our picks later on, but it's a little strange to went that route. I mean, granted, one injury. Once again, we'll get into that later. We can partially get into that now. Bronson Reed tearing his bicep, which is just an awful blow for him. I'm guessing he was supposed to be the sixth man in there. Like I said, it's very babyface heavy, that chamber on the men's side. It's almost unprecedented amount of. So maybe somebody turns inside the chamber. We've been calling for Orton. Potentially, they've been hinting at that as Aleister Black was trying to plant seeds of doubt in his mind. Where is that man at? You know, the guy used to punt people's head off. That was the most feared thing, and for a while, that was. About 15, closer to 16, 17 years ago. Those 09 or so about 17 years ago, he came back with both sleeves tatted up, kicking people. Just probably the best version of Orton outside of his Legend Killer days.
Would you say that's the most dominant Orton that we've had? And like all of his, wrestling?
Yeah, because everything clicked too. Because some people have accused Orton at times of going through the motions because he's so gifted, but this quality of his matches too. You know, as much as people got tired of seeing him and Cena, they did have something to go back and watch during that time. They just beat it with a dead horse in a sense. But there were like the hell.
But it was a feud though that people enjoyed. Like you said, they went to the well one too many times during that time. But you know, I don't think as fans we ever really got fed up with like that feud. Like it was one of those feuds that just kind of like made sense. Like the best are supposed to clash at the top. You know what I mean?
Right.
Nas. So at that time, it was basically really what if I'm going to say four guys, I'll say those two being Cena, Orton, Edge, and Batista.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, because
So it was kind of interchanging between those four gentlemen. You know, the feuds and the titles. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's a great point. They were basically their pillars in to steal a phrase from AEW for sure. Because Edge touched that time, and I had to think back and like I added them up. I guess they were making up for lost time during that ruthless aggression there, because I'm pretty sure Edge was supposed to get that push, because Edge touched that title 11 times over a span of not that specific, not the WWE, but the combination. He was an 11-time. People would not. If you look at that, we were watching during Attitude Era, people talk about Edge from the Brood. He's an 11-time world. Like if you stop watching for a while, I'm saying, it's just crazy how much he touched that title.
Yeah, because you would have never thought the way the Brood were presented, obviously with Gangrel being the leader, all right, you would have felt like, okay, well, he'll eventually be a world champion.
Right, something, right.
Didn't happen, you know, and the guy, like you said, the one of the guys of that trio that became an 11-time champion was the brothers, as you told us last week. And one half of the brothers, Edge and Christian, you know, they just became best buds, but when the Brood first came out, when first introduced, you never in a million years would have thought Edge was going to end up being the 11-time champion.
What was even crazier about that, if you look at the Brood, both variations, all of them were world champ. Well, Matt didn't touch it in WWE, but the other three did. Jeff was a multi-time world champion, as was Christian.
Yep.
So, because I think Christian was a 2-time world champion on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Definitely did him dirty though. That 2-day run, that was trash, bro. They did him so dirty.
And that was Vince, man. I can't stand Vince, man. He never gave Christian a fair shake, bro.
Nah, he didn't. Because I think they realized they had to do that with him too. Because one of those things, unfortunately for Truth, he could have touched that title once during his heel run. When he was out in the UK smoking a cigarette when he turned heel on John Morrison, I'm like, this man out here smoking a squirrel. But what's my point was, somebody that went to TNA became a star, that became a multi-time world champion. I think it was the NWA title that True touched. I don't think he touched the TNA or the Impact title. I think it was NWA title.
Yeah, it was the NWA title.
But it was somebody, like I said, that did that, and they came back, and they could have potentially been world champion because they saw that, I could do this outside WWE. But back to The happenings of last or other the last week. No surprise, Liv picked Stephanie. I think all of us saw that happening for sure. It didn't make any sense. Like you could angle her to pick Jay, like I said, but having her have some backup with Judgment Day. But the way they're presenting Jay right now, they just you have to have Jay's opponent be a powerhouse in a sense. And I think that's the angle they're going for. Shockingly, Charlotte's not in there or Nia Jax. I thought that was a good swerve to have Kiana James go over and be in the side of the chamber. Why not get somebody new in there? That did ruin. Although I was going, and we'll get our picks once again. I did once I heard that Bianca wasn't cleared or it wasn't going to be cleared anytime soon. I did think Rhea was their secondary option because you don't want Charlotte to be the gatekeeper. Speaking of gatekeeper, we'll get into that in about a little bit. You want her to be the gatekeeper of putting people over. Granted, she could afford a loss, but she's done her due diligence 2 or 3 times in the last 4 years, give or take, because she put Rhea over clean at 39. Even though it was a lot of controversy going into that feud last year, she put Tiffany over at 41. So I don't think she was even. I think she was injured at 40. I don't think she was 2 years ago. I don't think she was on the card. But yeah, it's one of the things I'm fine with because Jade, if it was Charlotte, she's gonna go over for sure. I think one of the things Rhea can afford that loss once again, as I spoke to last week. She's basically beaten 3 of the 4 biggest stars of the last 5 to 10 years in women's wrestling at WrestleMania. Like I said, she beat Asuka at WrestleMania 37. She beat Charlotte at WrestleMania 39. She beat Becky at WrestleMania 40. So it's one of those things where if Rhea is that person, which I think she will be, she can afford it. She can afford that loss and to solidify Jade's title run because she's only had the 1 title defense thus far in the first place. Gatekeepers, once again, the point I was making is, as Taker said, you see them coming, you're going. Congratulations to AJ Styles, the newest inductee to 2026 WWE Hall of Fame. Big ups to the Phenomenal One. I thought that they were setting it up for that when they said tribute night in Georgia. I'm like, I think I see this.
I think you called that too. I don't know if you said it on live, but I remember you definitely saying it in the text group.
I did not say it here, and we got to get more into our predictions, man. Because wrestling is so funny watching, and this what's so great about it is sometimes some ideas just go over your head. Something just clicked. Like I'm like, wait a minute. Because I think they had announced Stephanie already. Because I'm like, So my only thing is this, and this will be interesting too when that time comes closer. Man, because you saw so many people pop up 2 nights ago, right? Well, who inducts them? Because
it's a good problem to have because you got so many guys that he's had great feuds with, that he got a story pass with, that could be the inductee. Obviously, those people aren't under the WWE umbrella.
That's the problem, right?
We're gonna have to see if, like, for example, a lot of people have said Samoa Joe. Okay, we would need AEW and WWE to play nice to allow Samoa Joe to be on WWE television, although he signed to AEW for the induction. You know what I mean? Given these guys past, you know what I'm saying, the story feuds they've had coming from Ring of Honor to TNA and even in WWE, you know.
Oh, Wendy.
It would be, it would be interesting to see if that happens with the Samoa Joe. Me personally, just spitballing it real quick, he would probably be my favorite pick if I'm WWE, just given the notoriety. The fans are already familiar with him on WWE programming. You know what I mean? So that's an easy one. It's TK going to play ball with them and allow him to, participate if it happens to be him. But you got guys like Christopher Daniels. He could be another good pick.
I was just going to say him because some people don't know this. AJ named his oldest son after Christopher Daniels.
And I remember you telling us that before. And somebody like that, you got that kind of close-knit relationship. That would be somebody if they're allowing AJ to say, hey, look, who's on your wish list of people to induct you? I'm sure Christopher Daniels would be pretty high on that list.
And I think they might be actually more willing to do that because he basically is all but retired from in-ring competition. / he's also not just freshly removed from being a world champion within the last X amount of months with the way and a trios champion, because Joe was the first, I think, double champion for the men. He might have been the first. Was he the first ever? I don't know. I gotta fact check for AEW. But the point is, yeah, someone just freshly removed from the main event scene too. So it's another thing where it's like, for sure, WWE would. I think they would say Joe, or it might be both of them, because it was about 20 years ago. That triple threat won match of the year for wrestlers. I think it was Christopher Daniels, Joe, and AJ. I think it was a No Surrender. One of those. I think that was the event. That was a really good triple threat. Even though we were recording Thursday last week, that is a throwback Thursday for y'all. If y'all want to go out and watch that, I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube. You should be able to find it. But hell of a triple threat between those three.
They can treat themselves to it this tomorrow. Yeah, that'll be a good throwback Thursday for wrestling. Yeah.
Let's get into this talk about division, man. Is this stable cursed or not cursed? But what is going on? We got Seth's shoulder. Then they came up with this.
Before we do that, I gotta cue the music.
Yeah.
So let me do that, but let me give AJ a round of applause. He, for Monday Night Raw. Kudos to WWE for having some of his, cohorts there. From the, not the click shit, from the Bullet Club. So yeah, let me just start off doing that. And I'm really just curious to see, where they're gonna go with that. Who's gonna induct him? Like I said, a bunch of people there that you could do. Hell, the case could be made for Cody. You know what I mean? Given his time with the Bullet Club, case could be made for Finn. If they wanted to keep it in house per se, if they're not able to say play nice with Tony Khan and gets Samoa Joe or maybe Christopher Daniels
or
who's there, but he's an agent now, so I don't know how much of a history him and Bobby share as far as in-ring competition wise, but another familiar face, in terms of somebody he has friendship with.
Well, they also, if they leave it up, which I'm sure they might, they I'm sure it's a possibility. There we go. That Xavier Woods, he was saying how close they are. If he was in AJ when he was on Stephanie's podcast, he said he had like the longest kind of talk with him after the match with Gunther. So I don't know, because they go back too, because I think he was going with the Austin Creed name, right? Or
yeah, he was Austin Creed in TNA. Yeah.
Okay.
And even though Punk wasn't there for but for a cup of coffee in TNA, Punk was he was in Ring of Honor, so he has like a history with him as well. So there's people in house that could induct
John Cena.
I mean, the case could be made. He was one of the only faces that I didn't see there Monday that probably should have been there for his tribute. But it's John Cena. Before we do,
why isn't John Cena on the card?
Who headlines? Does Stephanie headline the Hall of Fame 2026, or does AJ Styles headline?
Normally the headliner is the first one announced, but 2 years ago, Paul went on first because he said he just didn't care, because Paul Heyman was supposed to be the headliner. I think his speech was first, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
He may have went first. I really can't remember who went first. Roman inducted him though, right? Roman.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I gotta go back. I could have sworn Paul went out first, but I don't know.
I you know what? I can't remember if I watched last year's or not.
No, it was 2 years. That was
2 years ago. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because last year the headliner was who the hell was the headliner last year?
You sure it was 2 years ago?
No, because it was in Philly. The ECW tie-in and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's fact check. Let's see who was the headliner last year.
All right, I got the list right here. Oh, Triple H.
Oh yeah.
2025 WWE Hall of Fame class included Triple H, Lex Luger, Michelle McCool, The Natural Disasters. So that was your headliner last year. So like you said, the following year was Paul Heyman. So Okay.
Right. So who going in? Who knocks Paul Levesque? Since
uh,
people getting multiple inductions and all,
well,
bro, this
hey,
ain't
does Vince induct Stephanie?
no. They they, bar- they could barely probably bring Brock back. Man, I don't think that. No, I think Triple H is inducted there. Ain't no way, no chance in
Only reason
hell.
I say that is because there's rumors swirling that Vince has Saudi backing and is trying to make a play to repurchase WWE.
Oh my goodness, no, please
So that's
no.
been swirling around. How truthful it is, I
Oh,
don't know. So I'm gonna say it's a rumor. But there's a rumor that he's actively trying to buy WWE back from TKO.
I think if they, I think there's three people they have. One's obvious Triple H. Um, Shane. They ruined the AEW thing, but I mean that's still his sister.
Mm,
And then possibly Trish Stratus just because their history on their storyline and stuff.
right,
But
right.
that's the only three people I see where because no, I don't because Vince is not gonna be. I don't think Vince is gonna be accepted. That's another thing. I think that man might get booed. I think that's a possibility,
You
especially
may be right.
nowadays.
I could see a case where he gets booed, right? But I could also see a case where he
He
gets
might get
cheered.
cheered. Yeah, I can see that. But
Or it could be a 50-50 split.
I think with today's climate too, that's another thing. It's never acceptable if he's doing these borderline. We don't want to get into it because we ain't trying to get canceled by that. We would
Right,
like
right.
at some. The point is with it heightens everything more so. Everything is out in the open.
Mm-hmm.
With Twitter, with all these social, with Reddit, with
Right, right.
it's everything's just accessible and I think there's deeper dives into this, and because I didn't even look at everything.
Oh,
Some
it
people know.
totally is.
Yeah,
It's court documents out there that's explicitly recalling certain events between Brock and the girl in the case, and him, having certain wrestlers participate. But I just was wondering. I'm like, by her being the billionaire princess and all, and you know, him essentially being the reason she even became an on-screen character. I'm just, if it isn't her
that's
husband, who better
yeah,
than Vince? You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, he makes the most sense, but Stephanie is also big on pushing the women empowerment movement too. So
Mm-hmm.
that ain't a good look if Pops inducts her with
You
what's
know
going
what?
on.
This is one of those moments, and I think it may be an opportunity here. So I was talking to my buddy Vern when I did the watch party for John Cena's last match, right? He told me about this app, and y'all don't, people y'all watching, y'all don't steal my idea, man. But there's this app called Kalshi or Kalshi or something like that, and basically you can come up with these bets, and you can say what's the probability of this
Right,
happening or that
right, right.
happening. I might put that up there as like a first time ever hot take bet on that particular app. Who's going to induct, or who's the most likely to induct Stephanie McMahon at the 2026 Hall of Fame induction
If
ceremony?
he didn't do what he did, that would have been both of them because they have had times of people where multiple people
Mm-hmm.
inductees. Like with the
Mm-hmm.
Dudleys, they went with Edge and Christian and the Hardys.
Yeah, yeah.
So, which
And
made
just
perfect sense.
given today's climate, man, I just you can't really throw things out and just be like, oh no, I
Yeah.
don't think it's gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It's
I think just because of today's climate is why I don't think it will though. But hey, we'll see.
We'll see. We definitely will see. Before we move on to the heated roundtable discussion, bro, let me do a quick recap on NXT really quickly because we had some championship title changes that took place over there. All right, so this week's episode, excuse me. Bray Baylor and Ricky Smokes defeated Osiris Griffin and Saquon Sugars to win the NXT Tag Team Championship. So Dark State is no longer the tag team champions of NXT. All
They
right.
did it in Black History Month.
Yeah, man, they did it Black
You
History
get
Month.
you get it.
And
Dark
the
State.
State of the Union was on last night. You see the connection there? From there, Elio LaFleur and Jasper Troy and Eli Knight competed in a triple threat match to win. The Elio LaFleur defeated Jasper Troy and Eli Knight to become the new WWE Speed Champion in a triple threat match. NXT Women's Champion JC Jane defeated Sol Ruka. As we all know by now, Zarya snapped out, finally attacked Sol Ruka. Looked like that's been building up for the last couple of months in terms of storyline down there in NXT. Finally attacked her. So Zarya's making a change into a heel lane, and we'll see how that develops going forward. We are going towards stand and deliver for NXT. Thea Hale defeated Blake Monroe in the Speed Tournament. Uriah Connors defeated Kale Dixon. And Miles Bourne defeated Ethan Page to win the NXT North American Championship title. So, that being said, now we can get into this heated roundtable, bro, because I've said it on here as well as in our text messages. I felt like Ethan Page should have been a part of the Vision. But I'll expound a little bit more. Let's get the roundtable started.
Ooh, the roundtable's getting heated. Heated roundtable.
All right. So, as you were saying, KG, the Vision is cursed. It's just like, what the hell is going on? Because Seth goes down with injury. Then Braun Breaker. Now Bronson Reed. We left with Logan Paul, my guy, and we left with A-Town Down, Austin Theory as the last men standing of the Vision. And I made the joke, bro. I said, hey, they should have just tried to keep the bloodline going for another year. Because
they need clear eyes. They need.
Yeah, the Vision. I just I don't know how they rectify this. I don't know how they turn this around. I do think with Ethan Page dropping that title, I don't think that's a coincidence. I do think it's about to be call up time for him. When it comes to the main roster, we've seen a lot of other people get called up as of late. Ethan's over ready, you know what I'm saying, veteran of the ring. And he just had a nice lengthy title reign down there in NXT with the North American Championship. So it's game time. I think this is where he gets injected into the storyline some kind of way. I would say as quickly as maybe this Saturday and cause some sort of interference in the CM Punk Finn Balor match, as a callback to the kind of little not war of words, but the little back and forth that him and CM Punk was having a couple of months ago on NXT. So, and he just kind of gets there and he aligns himself with the Vision, who obviously, are in a state of need. But I made the joke in the group on Facebook, and I said, hey, look, man, they should have just revealed Montez Ford as the masked man at Survivor Series. And they probably wouldn't be having this issue right now. So what's your thoughts, bro? What do you think is going on with the Vision? Excuse me. Do you think there's a way that this can be turned around? What do you see? And what does this mean for WrestleMania, with WrestleMania being right around the corner?
Jeez, to your point, they could turn around a number of ways, add people to that stable. We have to. I don't know if they officially said a brand that the man formerly known as Powerhouse Hobbs is going to. You could add him to the Vision, though, if they don't want to put him on NXT. I heard rumors it's supposed to be NXT bound. This might change that plan, too. I think Ethan Page makes a lot of sense. He's clearly ready. Ricky Saints is an option. But they're going to have to do something to revive this. So to answer your question for WrestleMania, it just throws a wrench in a lot of plans, because if Seth was cleared, once again, this is I'm sure that's who it was supposed to be, though. Even though, even if that wasn't Seth at the Rumble, right? I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure the plan was Seth versus Braun. Okay, that fell through. Now we got Bronson Reed. Oh no, okay, now that fell through. We had Seth versus Logan. That was 3 years ago, so you can always redo a WrestleMania match. You've seen, matches happen 2 years in a row. So definitely 2 times in 4 years isn't oversaturated. But now I'm thinking, do you even want to bring Seth back for a match at WrestleMania? I mean, he's a big star and everything, but I don't know what they do, man. We don't know they're not obviously cursed for real, but I've never seen this before. Now over this span of time, it reminds me, I was saying in our chat, it reminds me of that time the Shield kept trying to get back together.
Yeah.
In 2017 and 2018 when stuff kept happening. First, Dean got hurt. Then he went out and came back. And unfortunately, Roman cancer came back.
Mm-hmm.
He was out of remission for it, and he had to go out, step away. Then that last time, Ox was just done. Like he was ready to leave,
Yeah.
So, man, I don't know. Maybe Seth's just not supposed to be in stables, man, with other wrestlers. Because
Hey,
what
that's kind
happened?
of the conclusion I'm coming to.
All jokes aside, but I don't know, man. Like I said, I don't even know if you bring Seth back now because who's his opponent at WrestleMania? Like I said, you could go Logan Paul again, but Seth's more than likely going to go over when he comes back. I doubt if he comes back to lose his first match at a big show. That's another thing. So
I like Seth versus Logan Paul, right? I mean, you would think Logan would lose in theory, right? But if they were to hold off on, say, a reveal of a new member of the Vision, right? Which, like you said, could end up being Royce Keys or Ethan Page, right? If they were to hold off on a debut of one of those people and having them, participate in the Royal Rumble, not the Royal Rumble, excuse me, in WrestleMania, doing a run in favor of Logan Paul, then boom, here you go. All right, you got Austin Theory, obviously, that could be there, but he'll get he'll get treated kind of like how sidekicks get treated, Anyway, when you're dealing with a major star like a Seth Rollins, you'll have him there at ringside. You'll have Paul Heyman at ringside, and he'll catch them hands.
right,
Paul Heyman obviously won't have too much physicality taking place, but that's how you enter a powerhouse like a Royce Keys to kind of come in and set the tone. If you're gonna go and kind of reset the Vision with Logan Paul as the centerpiece, because much like you said, and I can totally see this, Logan Paul could be the next Mr. Money in the Bank. And the as far as the heels and what I was just saying, as far as them having bona fide heels right now, he's probably the closest thing to a bona fide heel that they have, just because of the reactions that he get from the fans. You know
him
what I
and
mean?
Gunther.
Yeah, and Gunther's getting it obviously because of these guys he's retiring. He retired Goldberg, he retired Cena.
Well, we were happy about Skinny Leg Goldberg.
Yeah. That's the only one. Yeah, two and fans wasn't too hurt by that. But so those two, and you're definitely not putting Gunther in the Vision. So I guess you would have to propel him and make him the face of that, and you do that by either putting a Royce Keys in there as the hired gun, or you put the Ethan Page in there, as the new hired hand that's going to help develop the team overall, and reset the team rather. Not
right, but now that you mentioned, obviously you're not. What did they did put Gunther in the Vision? I mean, Heyman keeps going to the quote unquote next big thing. He's back with Brock all of a sudden. I forgot to touch on that, how he kept repeating the same thing 5 times. Ain't nobody mad enough. Let the balls get their ass kicked by Brock Lesnar. Who we got doing that? Is that Oba? Who's going to answer Brock's open?
I think Oba or Royce. It's going to be one of those two.
Okay. I'm down with that.
And hopefully they don't underutilize that and have Brock go over. Brock should totally do the honors. I mean, I could see in terms of that possibly being Brock's last WrestleMania, you may be having him go over, but whoever that opponent is has a great showing. I could see that. But the monster run that Obafemi was just on, I don't think you want to, throw that down the drain with him losing. And not saying losing to Brock Lesnar is the worst thing in the world, but long as Brock does the thing where he puts the guy over as far as selling his moves and making him look good, Brock, maybe end up getting a W, maybe a couple of F5s to take him out. But I wouldn't be mad at one of those two guys right now. I think all signs do point to him versus Gunther at SummerSlam. How you keep them separate right now, that's the only thing. Dragon Lee is kind of they kind of building him, I guess. Obviously, Dragon Lee not gonna put his career on the line, and I don't know if they got that kind of faith in Dragon Lee for him to be Gunther's opponent at WrestleMania. But it could be. Who knows?
I think I'm interested in that's another thing that don't open until February 28th. Bro, this better not be we're rolling out some new you know what I mean? I hope there's somebody that's a free agent that we don't know about or whose contract is up or something. Maybe that's another thing. Maybe that's Jericho.
Could be Jericho. But
because it's something that keeps saying
it is Jericho. Who do you have him face if he's gonna face anybody at WrestleMania?
If they're going with this career killer angle, it might be Gunther, bro. Because we wondering who this man gonna face.
Bring him back just to kill a career?
Hey man,
that would be brutal. WWE, please.
That's cold. Hey man, our boy ain't no
Tony, huh?
Our boy ain't no spring chicken no more, man. He started young, Jericho in his 50s,
all the money
bro.
they say Tony Khan is throwing at him right now to stay. For you to say no to that and go over here just to get retired, I don't know, bro. Unless he's like, all right, retire me, let me go to commentary. I think Jericho would be a fire commentator.
No, he would
I don't
be.
know if you put him on Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, hell, even if you want to put him on NXT, either one, I think he would be great if that's what he truly wanted to do. I don't know, and I guess we'll see. What is it? What is it? February 28th? That's Friday. Oh no. The Friday's the 27th.
Elimination Chamber.
Saturday.
It's Elimination Chamber. Said do not open until. So they don't got a lot of matches on the card with those two chamber matches. You don't have. You have.
Oh. What if it's KO?
That do not open until. Could be. Is somebody returning more? I hope it is. I hope it's just not some silly. You know how they be doing that, right? And they're like, "Oh, it's a new show on exclusive to Net." Come on, bro! Like y'all got this thing going back and forth. This package.
Bring it back, Braun Strowman.
I couldn't come back in if I was him. I would refuse.
Bring back.
I would not,
Braun, man. But
no, I'm just saying I would not fall for the okie doke if I was him. No, you will not bring me. No, I'm not signing another contract.
I'm just trying to think outside of the box because us as fans, we just convince ourselves of something, and then especially with WWE, it turns out to be the complete opposite of that. And it's like, all right, instead of Jericho, we got Elias or some shit. Like, not to say that Elias would be a bad move, but
just Sandow
spitballing just in case. Right, a Sandow. And it's like, yo, where did Sandow come from?
You know what?
Clear blue.
You know what though? It would be nice if they started bringing talents back for the Rumble. Like we said, those are names. Speaking of hot take round table, we always say like some people that could look like they could still go. We don't need them necessarily to get an actual run, like full on run. That would be cool to see like a Sandow or Elias, somebody in the Rumble. Like, come on, man. I mean, I am glad they stopped bringing back the legends that could barely get in the ring, man, because that was starting to get like tough to watch.
And Elias is doing great on TNA, so he can still go. He can still go.
No, but sure.
But a Sandow, I would love to see. Like, a Sandow would be ideal. A Gangrel, even like Gangrel, probably get
Wade Barrett.
Wade Barrett's another person.
I think I wonder if
got
he
a lot of guys you can return to the well with that's from recent memory. You know what I mean?
I wonder if he's fully committed to like not wrestling again though, because at some point I'm pretty sure they would have put him in the Rumble, even for like 10 minutes. Or they did value him that much on commentary because he is one of the more. I think he's one of the more underrated commentators because we know, New Japan, AEW guy has a gist fest for all their commentators. You can't. I don't. I'm just saying because like when's the next? I'm just saying. I know pause, but still, it's like when the next time you gonna say WWE got the best announcer in wrestling? Like I'm like Wade Barrett's probably one of the. Like he does this whenever he does.
Wade is solid.
That's what I'm saying. He's the one dude that
honestly,
I think his injuries robbed him because he should have touched the world title.
Yeah. Honestly, I probably and I'm just kind of hoping for this. I don't know what they're gonna do. Not to say that anything's quote unquote wrong with NXT. I just think it's a little hokey in terms of the production. It just doesn't have the whole pizzazz of the Black and Gold brand, and I would like to see that return to some kind of form and fashion. But Wade Barrett obviously was getting his practice in on NXT, and I felt like he was very good down there. They got Booker T down there, and that's no shot at him.
Yeah.
But I they kind of had him like intertwined and commentating with Booker being the color commentator there in that aspect, and I felt like it worked. The guy that they got down there on NXT, the other guy opposite Booker, I can't think of his name at the moment. Not to say that he's bad, but
Vic Joseph, I think.
Vic Joseph, yeah. I just think Wade Barrett and Booker was a better pairing on commentary for the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in terms of just to kind of close out this roundtable, the curse or just this division just being marred by injuries. I spitballed a couple of ideas I think will work to kind of like reset the vision. But just it's like injury after injury after injury. It's like you can't make this up. Like who could have foreshadowed any of this? You know what I mean? It was a great idea, but like you said, ultimately, man, I think Seth is just one of those guys. And you got to think about it. It was the Shield, then he was the Monday Night Messiah. I don't remember if they gave that collective a name. But you remember he had Buddy Matthews and Austin Theory.
Well, considering the fact he removed Rey Mysterio's out, they should have been called Division.
And that may have been kind of the seed, being planted there with that. And Rey's eye mysteriously returning.
Oh, yeah, that part too. Yeah, I ain't think about that.
No,
the man with the glass eye.
That continuity just went right out the window on that one. So yeah, man, I don't know. I guess we just had to wait and see. But I do think Ethan Page, Royce Keys. I don't know if you put an Oba there because Oba's kind of having matches on Smack. I think he has a match with Miz on SmackDown.
Yeah, he does. It's Friday.
So I don't know necessarily if you're gonna have him maybe be a part of the division, but I could definitely see one of the other two probably, or Ricky Saints, like you said. That could be another.
I'm just wondering, like I said, this might be my last take. Let's not just also assume it could be a male wrestler. It could be something. I don't know people's contract situation, like I said, because there was a rumor that it was a lot like Britt Baker's out of there and she's going to WWE.
Mm-hmm.
But like I forgot her contract situation, so I don't know if that's still a possibility. So just throwing that out there. Who knows? It doesn't necessarily have to be a men's wrestler. It could still be a big.
Yeah, they could, and a Britt Baker would make a big splash. Pause. But like when the Bloodline was going, I kept like saying that. I was like, yo, perfect time to maybe not induct, but maybe add Nia to the Bloodline. You know what I mean? Tamina retired, so you can't go that route.
Right.
There's other ladies from the family I think that's wrestling or at least training to wrestle. So, but they're not ready yet, obviously. So you'd have to go with whoever's already established.
Well, you could also, like I said, it didn't have to be. Since Sammy was already Uso, you could have just went with somebody with Samoan heritage too. Like I said, she got released too, though. But Dakota Kai has Samoan parsimony
could have been, yeah, that could have been a good one. Hell, Naomi's right there too. She's married into the.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But that's why you said it's funny that you said that the Bronsons should have stayed with them because I forgot Bronson's parsimony.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I know he said it too, like in promos. I'm just saying, so it kind of comes full circle to what it kind of like emphasizes your point because then he was part of Solo's bloodline briefly.
Mm-hmm.
Then they just forgot all about that.
And that would have made the MFT a lot bigger, I think, had they continued and just kind of did a thing.
And you would have Solo
Reed
laughing at Talalunga or Toalunga when he.
Yeah.
Did you see that when they like Solo started laughing every time? Like when he is he botching on purpose at this point?
You know what? I don't know. I'm like he can't just be that bad. Like I would hope not. At this point in the game, I'm like you got to be doing this on purpose. You have to, because if not, and your daddy's Haku, and this how you doing? Oh man, yeah, you need them a podcast. WWE is not renewing that contract.
Man.
They are not going to renew that contract.
Which is funny too, because I think that's his actual blood son. I think Tama Tonga and Tonga Lore were Talatanga. I think they were adopted. I think those are technically his cousins because they are actually brothers. I mean, they're all brothers by law type thing, but I think that's Haku's actual son.
Yeah, he's his actual son, as far as I know. Yeah.
But I'm saying I think Tama Tonga. So they are brothers legally, but I think by blood they're cousins. And then the tall one, I think that's Tama Tonga's younger brother. But they are all brothers by law. Right?
I thought the taller guy was Tonga Loa's brother, but he's Tama.
No,
Tonga.
I think that's Tama Tonga's brother. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
That's Simone Big Sexy. When they get ready to give him that push.
Tama Tonga gonna be a Shawn Michaels?
I guess so. All right, man. Well, let's go ahead. We're gonna round out the show with this. We're gonna do once again, people. Elimination Chamber is this Saturday. If you're in Chicago, it's at the United Center. If you want to spend a glob of money on tickets and merchandise and sodas and snacks, go right ahead. I definitely, when they initially announced it, I wanted to go. I even hit KG up. I was like, yo, Elimination Chamber, what you thinking? But I saw those prices and I was like, nah, I'm good. I will watch it in the comfort of my own home.
Facts.
But we are going to make our picks. So, yeah, man, KG, let's go ahead and get started. Good folks at Wikipedia. I am utilizing Wikipedia for the match lineup. And I'm going to go with this. I'm going to start with this one. And I'm kind of surprised they're doing this match at Elimination Chamber. I thought it was going to be a WrestleMania match. But I'll start with this one. Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee for the women's WWE Intercontinental Championship.
You can't always have the fans go home happy like it's a live event show, which I have been to. You know, you always try to send the baby faces get the dub. I'm going Becky because I think they're going to extend this. We'll get a rematch at WrestleMania.
Think Becky gets a henchman?
Something like that, or just because AJ, you don't want to get into that Cody and Seth realm. Ironically, because Becky is married to Seth, where Cody kept going over. He won 3 straight times. AJ, in the sense, has won twice already because she made her tap at Lollapalooza. Shit, that would have been better than watching WrestlePalooza. She tapped there too.
Yeah.
And at inside of War Games. So that's another reason. I'll just go with Becky.
So it's time. It is time for Becky to get back there. Okay, I'm in agreement with you with KG on this one. I'm gonna go Becky Lynch as well, unless by some stretch of the imagination they have her lose a third time. AJ goes into Mania to defend the title and then loses it there. But I'm with you though on this one. I'm gonna go with Becky Lynch. So we'll see how that goes. CM Punk versus Finn Balor for the World Heavyweight Championship for the Raw World Heavyweight Championship?
CM Punk. I think this is the closest thing to a lock on the card. There's no way they're gonna not do Punk versus Roman at WrestleMania. Sorry, Finn. Maybe later this year, if once they turn him, because they already hinted that they're about to turn him because the way he was punking Dom, and not punking Dom, but in a sense he was punking Dom backstage. So I think Judgment Day turns on Finn after this match, and Punk comes back does the whole helps him up type thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then
I'm glad you say that, because I'm in agreement with you there. I do think this is one of those moments where Judgment Day is going to call themselves trying to help Finn Balor with his match to try to help him get the W. And they're going to end up costing him the match, and they'll probably cost it on purpose, which will therein lead into them maybe attacking him and kicking him out of Judgment Day. And that'll write the story of Sin versus Dom at WrestleMania for the IC title. At least that's how I kind of see it. So I am going to go with Chicago-made Punk to retain the WWE Championship, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And did I say that right? No.
Yeah.
Raw World Heavyweight Championship. Let me just make sure I put Raw on it, because yes, the undisputed title, and then it's
We got you.
Y'all need one title again. Let's see. We're gonna do the women's Elimination Chamber match for WWE Women's Championship match at WrestleMania 42. We got Tiffany Stratton versus Rhea Ripley versus Alexa Bliss versus Asuka versus Kiana James versus Raquel Rodriguez.
Well, unlike the men, we got this split down the middle in terms of heels and baby faces, which is kind of how I like it, or at least 4 and 2. I'm surprised no EO, man. I am shocked. I was shocked when she didn't win. Not because Raquel hasn't earned the right to be in this match, but more along the lines of Rhea is such a big star type. Or EO. Sorry, both of them are. But I am going to go with Rhea Bloody Ripley. I just don't see anybody else, that you announced in that match that matches up well against Jade. Not gonna do Alexa. Little Miss Bliss gonna get Little Miss stomped. No offense, but plus I think they're gonna set up her and Charlotte. I think that's about to be the end of that alliance pretty soon. I don't know how they do that. Who's the? I know you said Asuka, Raquel, Kiana James, and then who's the third? Who's the other woman I'm missing out?
Tiffany Stratton.
Tiffany Stratton. It's not Tiffany time. No more Tiffany time. Not as a baby face. Sorry. No. That little experiment is over with. Sorry. Rhea.
Okay. Well, like I said, man, with no EO there, I think for me that's just kind of glaring that they're gonna have EO and Rhea do something with the tag team titles at WrestleMania. Rhea's there because she's gonna be a crowd favorite. She's gonna be able to play, do all of the heavy lifting per se in this match, which is, like you said, a great lineup of heel and babyface. But I do think Tiffy time happens here. I do think she gets her rematch since she's the one that Jade defeated for the title in the first place. I do think you give her rematch, at WrestleMania 42, and you go Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill. They do have some chemistry there. When I watched their match, that way you kind of got not necessarily the David versus Goliath thing, but obviously you have a very fierce and dominant looking champion in Jade, and you have a former champion in Tiffany Stratton that kind of writes itself. She doesn't necessarily have to be the quote unquote white meat babyface, as Stone Cold Steve Austin says. She could kind of, balance that line of being a heel, babyface, kind of a tweener kind of deal. And I think the fans will go for that. The era of quote unquote white meat babyfaces, I just think we kind of passed that in today's wrestling, because the fans are going to cheer whether they, You know, you're supposed to be a heel or you're supposed to be a babyface. Like we just talked about it earlier in the show with Trick Williams. Supposed to be a heel right now, and the crowd is loving the music, screaming "whoop that trick" right with him. You know, he has a good reception coming to the ring. So, but
No,
I'm gonna go with
absolutely.
Tiffany Stratton, man, for sure, for the women's
Yeah,
elimination chamber.
I think it's either her or Rhea for sure. I'm only reason I'm going Rhea too, just because I think WWE doesn't want to miss out on their opportunity to book. Not that Tiffany's not a star, not made. Obviously, we know how they feel about her, but more along the lines of I don't know, man. It's one of those times where they have the opportunity to do this match with Rhea and Jade because you don't want to look up and be like, "Oh man, we had that opportunity," because I think they're going to regret that more than doing something we already seen 3, 4 times already.
Mm-hmm.
Just my 2 cents, just because of injuries keep happening to talent.
It's a valid
Yeah.
point. Yeah, it's a valid point, and you know, it's like you said, it's something we haven't seen yet, and the matchup there, you know,
And the biggest show of the year.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely have a case of Rhea pulling double duty and doing something with the tag titles, night one maybe, and then night two facing Jade, or the reverse. You know, that could still definitely take place. You know, we've seen a couple of people do this now the last couple of WrestleManias since it became a 2-night event. But we'll find out Saturday, that's for sure. And then last but certainly not least, we have the men's elimination chamber match. Winner will receive an opportunity to face Drew McIntyre for the undisputed WWE Championship at WrestleMania 42. We got Randall Keith Orton versus LA Knight versus Cody Rhodes versus Javon Evans versus Trick Williams versus Jey Uso.
You want to go first, this, or you want me? You want to switch it up or run it back?
I'll go first.
All right.
Hey, man, this is one of those. Hey, I have been cheering for LA Knight.
Ah, you stole my answer.
Like, I know I'm just
Yeah.
I've been cheering for him, dude, but I just do not see him getting the placement in this particular WrestleMania matchup. I would have loved for him to, you know, maybe have won the Rumble, maybe go on to face CM Punk, because that could have been a nice little, you know, back and forth too. This with Drew, I just don't see it, man. I feel like we're going to see a feud get revisited here, and I do think this is where we see the Viper become a main eventer once again, because as he's been back, you know, he's had time off. He's been a role player. He's you know, helped propel guys, and I think it's time now to kind of put him back in that title picture. And, you know, while there's a guy there, former champion Cody Rhodes, who has an existing story with Drew McIntyre, I just feel like at this point in time, you can have Orton turn on Cody if he doesn't win, and that leads to a match between them at WrestleMania 42, which could happen. So we'll have to see Saturday. But I just think in terms of making that undisputed WWE Championship match a big deal, you got to add a big name to that. And that's not a discredit to Drew McIntyre or what he does in that ring, because Drew is great in that ring. Great on the microphone as well. But you need, for this WrestleMania, you need your heavy hitters. And in the Raw Men's Championship match, you got your heavy hitters. You got CM Punk and Roman Reigns in that match. So the undisputed WWE Championship match should be of that same caliber, at least closest to it as you can get. And for me, my pick is going to be Randy Orton to win the Elimination Chamber.
All right. I'm still with LA Knight, but only because to your point, I understand what you're saying, but I also have seen two guys who have never been world champions prior to X amount of months before WrestleMania 41 to face each other. Gunther was a one-time champion, and Jey Uso had never. We saw him always positioned like that. I definitely see your point, though. I think it more than likely will be. This one, I'm just going with my heart over my head. I'm going with LA Knight, but I think more than likely it will be Orton or Cody.
Yeah. I think those are the safe bets. I think Trick Williams has a good showing in the Elimination Chamber. Of course, Javon Evans is going to have a good showing, being that they're the two new guys in the event. I like that they gave two new guys a chance here.
Absolutely.
Same with the women. They gave you Kiana James, which if you had to pick any of the new women, you probably wouldn't have picked her to be the women that they picked, out of the new crop of ladies that are on the SmackDown roster to have that role. So we'll see if this is going to be a great showing for her too. Yeah, man. I'm just looking forward to Elimination Chamber. We'll see how that goes, and hopefully it's a slobber knocker, as JR used to say. Yep.
See someone have the Crimson Mask.
Yeah. I need all of it. And the Crimson Mask. I need him to say, "Damn you, damn you."
Right.
I need some of those moments in either of these Elimination Chamber matches. I just need that kind of energy. So we'll see if Michael Cole or what's my man name be with Michael Cole?
Wade Barrett,
Corey Graves or Wade Barrett. I need them to make sure they bring it on Saturday.
Nah, for sure.
All right, man. Well, that's going to be our episode tonight, y'all. KG, did you have anything else you wanted to discuss, brother, or was that it for this week?
That's all I got, my man.
All right, y'all. So what I'm going to do here now is to ask y'all to like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend to listen to Hot Take Wrestling Podcast or watch us. We stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. We're on Twitter and on Kick. So you can find us on either of those. The party starts at 8 every single Wednesday, unless there's a pivot and we have to substitute and do it on another day. But the party always starts at 8. Tonight, we're going to, I don't know if Wiseman's going to do Hot Take After Dark. He had a family event that was taking place. So you may get an episode of Hot Take After Dark tonight. You may not. If not, it'll be back Wednesday, next week. And yeah, man, y'all enjoy Elimination Chamber, man. We're on the road to WrestleMania. So that's KG. I'm Old Man Logan, and we out. This is Hot Take Wrestling Podcast. See y'all next week.
Busta Rhymes, 2000. We got the fire now. Come on. Hey, come on. Hey, whether it's from home, unless you best believe. Busta Rhymes, more flavor than all the rest. Before the mess, hardcoreness, before the stress. Got to get this flawless flow above my chest. Who's responsible for the impossible flow? Anything in the world that ain't toppable. So I make you anticipate great type shit. Real live niggas appreciate.